Welcome back to the Dinar Chronicle, your trusted source for timely updates, deep financial insights, and breaking headlines from the global currency landscape. In today's report, we are tracking what could be the most seismic development in recent foreign exchange history. Across trading floors, private banking circles, and geopolitical centers of influence, all eyes are now fixed on Washington, D.C., where former President Donald J. Trump has reportedly confirmed a long-awaited revaluation of both the Iraqi Dinar and the Vietnamese Dong. Market expectations are soaring as celebration plans circulate for August 19, 2025, signaling what analysts are already calling the official RV launch point, IQD. News outlets in Dubai, London, and New York are all lighting up with chatter. Prices are moving. Whispers are becoming statements, and a previously speculative narrative appears to be hardening into something far more concrete. The atmosphere is charged with urgency as investors weigh whether this breakthrough confirmation from President Trump marks the definitive moment that Dinar and Dong holders have been waiting for over a decade. According to multiple anonymous sources within the U.S. Treasury and leaked communications attributed to senior officials in the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, a structured liquidity deployment plan is now under review. This plan reportedly aims to support a controlled, phased rollout of the new exchange values, minimizing shock to global currency pairs while rewarding early adopters of IQD and VND positions. Emergent reports suggest that specialized exchange centers are being quietly outfitted across 12 major U.S. cities, with staffing drawn from top-tier banking institutions, including Wells Fargo, Chase Bank, HSBC, and the Bank of America Private Wealth Division. Insiders claim these centers will begin intake appointments as early as the 17th of August, allowing high-net-worth individuals and private exchange groups to process their holdings ahead of a broader public rollout. Reaction in Baghdad has been swift. The Central Bank of Iraq has issued an unusual series of overnight policy adjustments, tightening liquidity windows and suspending all outbound bulk transfers over $5 million until August 20th. CBI press officers have denied any link to an imminent revaluation, but regional currency brokers in Erbil and Basra are allegedly receiving directives to prepare for a dramatic hike in the official published rate. Simultaneously, in Hanoi, the State Bank of Vietnam has halted all government gold auctions for the next 30 days, citing an internal need to recalibrate foreign reserves. Analysts at the Asian Development Bank interpret this move as a signal that Vietnam is doubling its holdings in U.S. dollar-denominated assets in preparation for massive upward traction in the value of the Dong. Local reports from Ho Chi Minh City describe unusually high foot traffic at currency kiosks, with citizens attempting to purchase VND in bulk despite new caps placed on maximum transaction size. Wall Street is not staying silent. A series of confidential briefings were allegedly sent to select hedge funds late last night, outlining broad revaluation windows and expectations for immediate market volatility following Trump's confirmation. The Chicago Mercantile Exchange has just filed a technical advisory noting that IQD futures trading will remain paused until noon on August 19th, pending material new information from intergovernmental sources. Meanwhile, Bloomberg terminals across Europe are suddenly lighting up, with alerts marking RV watch indicators for both currencies. A senior strategist at Barclays in London has characterized the situation as the most significant emerging market currency pivot since China's surprise devaluation in 2015. JP Morgan Chase analysts are reportedly advising their premium clients to secure Dong positions within the next 48 hours, warning that access could become restricted once the Treasury's new holding rules go into effect on August 8 in Washington, D.C. The political implications are equally explosive. During a closed-door bipartisan meeting on Capitol Hill, former President Trump, surrounded by members of his economic advisory team, is said to have stated directly that the revaluation of the Iraqi Dinar and Vietnamese Dong would be confirmed publicly before the 19th, allowing patriotic American investors to reap the rewards of their strategic patience. Behind the scenes, there is speculation that this announcement is part of a broader campaign effort, presenting Trump as a champion of hardworking, middle-class Americans who invested early in foreign currencies. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen has not publicly commented, but sources claim she has issued verbal assurances to key lawmakers, indicating that any such RV action would be executed in coordination with the International Monetary Fund, the World Bank, and a specially convened G20 Financial Readiness Task Force. European finance ministers are reportedly scrambling to understand how such a move would impact euro-dollar parity and capital flow restrictions under the Basel III banking framework. The commercial banking sector is preparing for high alert. Wells Fargo has allegedly issued internal memos to branch managers, instructing them to secure additional armored vehicle schedules beginning the 18th of August. Bank of America, known for its cautious stance on exchange speculation, has quietly updated its internal exchange rate software to include placeholder tiers for both IQD and VND, far above current market levels. Meanwhile, HSBC's private banking arm in Hong Kong is making contingency plans for what it calls significant inbound capital requests tied to revaluation proceeds. Traders on the Frankfurt Exchange are reporting an unusual surge in spot pricing algorithms, indicating rising institutional belief that a managed RV is truly imminent. Concurrently, several digital asset platforms have begun exploring on-ramp integration plans, suggesting that crypto-based transaction pathways may be temporarily opened to help handle an anticipated wave of international wire transfers once values shift. Overseas, geopolitical tension is rising. Iran has reportedly raised concerns through back-channel diplomatic contacts, claiming that a sudden Iraqi Dinar revaluation could destabilize currency flows in the region and undermine Tehran's black market dollar network. Saudi Arabia, meanwhile, has reportedly signaled support for Iraq's move, seeing it as a step toward greater economic independence from Iranian influence. UAE-based currency houses in Dubai's Dera district are already quoting forward contracts for IQD at speculative rates eclipsing $3 per day. In Vietnam, pundits suggest the revaluation of the dong could reframe the country as a true financial powerhouse in Southeast Asia, breaking the old perception of Vietnam as purely a low-cost manufacturing hub. Japanese and South Korean firms are allegedly preparing to renegotiate contracts tied to dong-based pricing projections, anticipating potential cost shocks if the dong jumps in value as expected. Inside private investment circles, anticipation is turning into feverish action. Group exchange administrators, the individuals who coordinate large-scale currency transactions often involving thousands of small investors, have begun contacting their members, requesting updated Know Your Customer documentation and scheduling preliminary contract signings. Historic RV contracts dating back to 2014 are being dusted off and amended. One administrator, speaking on condition of anonymity, described the mood as a mix of disbelief and electric momentum. He confirmed that multiple banks have pre-approved lines of credit to be activated immediately for individuals holding verified, authenticated bundles of Iraqi Dinar and Vietnamese Dong. Additionally, private attorneys in Texas, Florida, and Nevada are reporting an abrupt spike in requests to establish asset protection trusts and offshore holding vehicles, indicating that savvy investors are positioning themselves to manage sudden wealth at the international diplomatic level. WISPA suggests that China has privately guaranteed stability in the wake of Vietnam's revaluation, ensuring that any appreciation of the dong will not trigger retaliatory currency devaluations across Asia. Russia, for its part, has allegedly expressed keen interest in trading oil contracts priced in the newly valued signaling a potential shift in petrodollar dynamics. NATO officials have declined to comment, but insiders say this: RV scenario has been analyzed for years as part of broader currency war simulations. The U.S. State Department is reportedly coordinating with the Department of Homeland Security to monitor for any spikes in financial cyber attacks during the critical days of rollout, fearing that hostile actors might attempt to disrupt the process or manipulate public expectations.